get him to capitulate on something that he doesn't want to do. So he needs to learn to say, like many of these black entertainers, no comment. You had a big article about this wonderful little white boy who was such a patriotic person, standing up out of his wheelchair. He was in a wheelchair, stood up for the anthem at the game, and oh my gosh, they just went on and on. This is one of those things that I told you I have about the book, that how whites steer the Black Lives Matter movement off a cliff. This is one of those things that white media do to do exactly that. So if you haven't gotten that book, it tells you about the Trayvon Martin thing. They steer Black Lives Matter into being anti-American. So they don't address the fact that they don't care nothing about the fact that police are killing black males, or that black males are losing their lives, that black people are dying, whatever. They don't care nothing about that. This is where you actually find out that white people have not changed since the slave trade. They still see black people as insignificant, and everything is more important than the black person's life. They also, all these people in the stands and all these white folks in jobs and all these entertainers and whatnot that jump up to talk about the anthem and how black males shouldn't be on their knee for the anthem, and Kaepernick and Trump talking about how these black males need to be fired and all. Come on, people. If they were really true, they were really serious, they would be talking about the things that flag and that anthem have been used to do. They could tell you about all the sadistic and all the horrific things that they have done under the banner of that flag and under the banner of that anthem. If they're not talking about that, then you know that it is part of an agenda to try and make black people be quiet and stop talking about the things that are happening to black people. That's all it is. And when black people talk about the things that are happening to black people, white people lose money. And these NFL owners are the descendants of white slave owners. They're descendants of white slave masters. They're the children and grandchildren of white slave masters. So their feelings are no different about black people. To them, black people are no different than the horses that they run at the Kentucky Derby. These black males on the field are their property. Okay? Now, they may see the white males on the field a little differently. And what they definitely don't want is for white males to get all caught up and into the whole protecting the Negro slave thing. So they try to squash it really quickly so that white males don't get caught up in it. Because you have white people, some of the children were caught up in the whole slaves need to be free thing. But then when you get right down to it, they're like, but I still want black slaves to do this and do that and for me and all this good stuff. So they even were, on the fence with it. But when you hear about this, somebody, how important this anthem is, or and how important this flag is, and all this good stuff, and they're not telling you the horrible, sadistic things that they have done. Remember, the Kardashians, all those K's mean something. When you're talking about the KKK, you are talking, that is something that's done deliberately. You put all these K's together, white folks knew that this would be a family that was seen as the KKK, and they saw this as the white family that could promote white people as superior and get black people to support